Yeah, I'm ready.
Juan Garcia of EvilDead, welcome to 69 Faces of Rock. How are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent, my friend. How are you?
Good to hear that. Um, New record, Toxic Grace. How did these songs come together?
It came together over a few years of writing. We went into we started working a couple years ago. The original plan was to record an EP, so we went in and started working on that. And then once our record label heard the songs, they talked us into doing a full length album. They really liked the songs, and they go, "Why don't we do a full album?" So a lot of the material was written by Albert Gonzalez, my other guitar player, and we all got together once he demoed his material. Me and the drummer Rob Alanese kind of worked on the songs. Then we gave the songs to Bill Flores, our singer, and our bass player, for to add some bass lines. And slowly we put the songs together. We took our time with the material, and I'm very excited that it's finally coming out.
Excellent. Um, there is a lot of variety to this new album. What do you think it adds to your already established style?
Um, well, yeah, you make a good point. What it is, we took our time with this record. We didn't want to rush it. We also put a lot of effort into the production. We worked with two different producers, Rob Hill and Dave Casey. Um, I think it's a well-rounded album. It has a lot of different tempos and a lot of guitar layering, and it's a good heavy metal thrash album. The main thing is I think we just took the extra effort to make sure it's music that we like, and hopefully the fans like it as well.
Definitely. One thing that actually stands out to me, actually, it always did, is the incredible dose of energy that is still present here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great songs on this album. I mean, some of my favorites is the opening track "Fafo," which stands for "Fuck Around and Find Out." Reverie, the second track, "Fear Porn." That's a last song on the record. Yeah, it has a lot of it has fast songs, but there's also some mid-tempo stuff and some really cool guitar solos from Albert and myself, and it's a solid offering.
Mhm. What are the songs mainly about?
Um, there's different subjects. I mean, let's see, "Fuck Around and Find Out," which is it's called "Fafo" on the record. That one's more about violence and guns. We did a lyric video, which is an official video for the song "Raising Fresh Hell," which is more of an anthem type rock metal song. A thrash band coming to your town and mosh pits and stuff like that. The video shows a lot of zombies in it, but it's more about just like a band coming to town kicking ass. There's songs about social media addiction. Our last single we just put out a few days ago, "Subjugated Souls," is about how a lot of the not just the new generation, but a lot of people are addicted to their devices and social media, and that seems to be an issue at times. So some of the songs are about that. A little bit of everything. There's some political stuff. There's a little bit of everything on here. Dreamy songs. What was it? "Poetic Omen." It's kind of like a dreamy type song that somebody feels that he's in like a apocalyptic nightmares scenario. What else is on the record? Let's see. "Stupid on Parade" has some political views to it. We cover a lot of subjects, a lot of ground on this new record.
In many ways, you always did. Um, tell me about the guitar relationship you share with Albert, because I mean the guitar work always stood out in EvilDead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very grateful to team up with Albert Gonzalez. He's a great lead player, really good rhythm player. There's no egos involved. We we share the guitar duties. Whatever fits, the style. I mean, he solos more than I do, um, which is I'm fine with it. I always liked being in a band with two guitar players. I grew up looking up to bands like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. I enjoyed the work of KK Downing and Glenn Tipton and Dave Murray and Adrian Smith. I've always liked two guitar bands, and even like newer bands like Exodus with Gary Holt and Rick Honold and stuff like that. Even the Slayer guys, Kerry King and Hanneman, rest in peace. I always enjoyed two guitar bands. I think it's just a lot fun, a lot more fun, and just sounds heavier with two guitar players.
Definitely does, and you have a great team on board.
Thank you.
Tell me about the artwork for Toxic Grace. I mean, your artwork is always something special, so let's hear about it.
Yeah, let's see. Well, let's see. The last three albums are Annihilation of Civilization, The Underworld, and United States of Anarchy, which we put out in 2020. All those albums were done by Ed Repka, amazing illustrator. On this album, we wanted to work with Dan Goldsworthy on it. He's done some really cool stuff with Aborted and other bands, Accept and stuff like that. I've seen some really cool artwork that he did for the Cavalera brothers. We just wanted to do something a little different. So he's also a fan of Ed Repka's work. So he captured our our vibe. He one of his favorite album covers is the Annihilation album, our debut album. So he caught the spirit of what we were wanting to do. The concept was brought forth by Phil, our vocalist, the original idea for the album cover, and then Dan took off from there and put his twist on the cover, and I threw in some ideas as well, and so it was a collective effort. But the original concept was from Phil, and yeah, we had a lot of fun with the album cover. I mean, I look at everything as art, and if you take this stuff too serious, you got a problem. I mean, you got to have fun with music. I enjoy music and I enjoy art, and there you have it.
It's a fun cover. I like the way how he plays the album title inside of a TV screen. You really have to look for it.
You got to look for it. Exactly. We had a hard time coming up with a title for this album, and Phil suggested Toxic Grace. I think it's a fitting title. I mean, it's like a newscaster delivering the news, with a grin and this all this stuff going on in the world these days, and it's just overwhelming at times, and you can get manipulated by it. You can get addicted to news, so and social media and stuff like that. It's kind of like what's going on in the world right now, and we had fun with it. We like to play with art and twist it up a bit.
Yeah. What plans do you have to, let's say, doing any touring or live appearances?
Live appearances. We booked a show the 16th of August here in Los Angeles at the Terragram Ballroom. We're going to be playing with Whiplash. They're 40 years of power and pain. So that will be our first show. We hope to play a lot of new material. I can't wait to play some of these songs like Fear Porn and the Subjugated Soul, and even Stupid on Parade. Hopefully not too many new songs, but at least a few. So we're playing the 16th of August here in Los Angeles at the Terragram Ballroom. Los Angeles is a great place. We have great thrash bands here, so it's amazing. And then we're also going to be doing the Oakland Metro in October with Sodom and Sacrifice and Hyrax. We're on a bill for the California Death Fest Volume 7. So that's going to be a lot of fun. The Bay Area is always great for thrash metal, and look forward to that. As far as full-on touring, I'm getting ready to go on the road with Body Count in June, all through Europe. So the moment I get back from the European tour, I think we'll probably going to book more U.S. shows with EvilDead, and probably as far as are you there? Oh yeah, the phone disappeared for a second. As far as touring, probably 2025 we hope to go to Europe and stuff like that.
With all the commitments you guys have and getting up there age-wise, what needs to be in place in order for EvilDead to still function?
The most important thing Give me a second here. I had to plug my phone in there. The most important thing I think is to have fun, man. You really have to enjoy yourself. You know, you have to be, for us at least, we like to have fun with music and you know, not take life too serious. And you know, and being involved with this album here, um, is we have the same lineup as the previous record that we put out in 2020. So that's a good sign. We all get along. So the most important thing I think is you have to enjoy yourself and enjoy music. If you're not having fun doing this, man, it's just, what's the point, you know?
Could not agree more. What was it like to reunite 4 years ago?
Um, it was
And
good. I mean, we actually reunited in 2016 for Rob's birthday party. That's kind of what got things rolling. And then we did a bunch of demos, and you know, that led to the United States of Anarchy record that SPV's put out. But this record was a little more challenging to get done. I'm glad it's done, and I'm glad it's coming out here on May 24th.
mhm. And once United States of Anarchy came out, how was that album received?
You know, it came out during COVID.
Mhm.
So it I think we got a good reception in Europe with it. Um, we couldn't really tour on it. That we had to postpone a tour, so that didn't help. But I think a lot of bands experienced that kind of situation in 2020. But the reception was good. I mean, people liked the record. I think it's a solid record. A lot of the material on that record was, not a lot, but a good portion of it was some songs from the past, like Greenhouse. That was a song that we used to play back in the 80s. They just didn't make it on our debut album. And Rob and Albert had some demos of stuff they were working out that we re-demoed with Bill Matoyer and reworked and wrote new songs as well. I think it's a solid record. It's a fun record. Songs like Word of God is a fun song to play live. Napoleon Complex is another favorite of mine. No Difference. I mean, if you haven't checked it out, I think, you know, give it a spin. I think it's a great record.
You just kind of mentioned something that got me thinking. It seems like most of your live work happens in Europe as opposed to US. And I have been a fan of the band since the demo days. Why do you think US is kind of slow in catching up to what you're doing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. You know, I don't know how to answer that question. I think mainly maybe if we toured the US more instead of doing regional shows on the West Coast and stuff like that. I think if we toured more, I think the band would be more popular in the US.
Mhm.
I don't, you know, I have no delusions of grandeur. I'm cool with the fact that EvilDead's an underground thrash metal band. We're not trying to prove anything. We just like to make music that we like to listen to.
Mhm.
Of course, it'd be great to be on bigger shows, you know, and that's one of our goals is to play some bigger shows. I think there's a lot to it, you know. You have to have the right team, the right booking agent. The right management. You know, a lot of these little things come into play, and it's important, you know. So we're working on these things. We would like to play some bigger shows for sure.
And I always felt musically you had it since day one. If you recall your appearance in Milwaukee Metal Fest 1988 when you were just a demo band and the reaction you
Yeah.
got, that was massive.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. I love to, you know, I love for Jamie Jossa to bring us back to Milwaukee Metal Fest. I think what he's doing is great. He brought back the Milwaukee Fest. I was there last year checking out Violence and other bands there, and man, it was great. I'm so glad the Milwaukee Metal Fest is back. Some really good bands, you know, and he's doing it again this year. Possess is playing. I think Anthrax is on the bill. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great fest. Um, what broke the band up back in the old days, like in the 90s?
I think we were disillusioned by the music business. You know, after we put out the Underworld record, we did this live EP, and the grunge scene was popular in America. I don't want to blame it on that because I think we were just lack of support and just disillusioned by music in general. Our We didn't have management at the time. I think if we were based in Europe, we may have not broken up. You know, we would have probably continued.
Yeah. Changing a subject a bit, tell me about your recent appearance at the Hell's Heroes.
Um, that was that my friends in Hellstar called me and told me that my past band Agent Steel was supposed to play, and they canceled. And James Rivera and Larry from Hellstar asked me if I wanted to show up and play a song with them. So I thought, this would be fun. So I flew out there. They flew me out, and we played a Agent Steel song, and it was awesome. I mean, that's a great festival. I don't know if you've ever attended. Hell's Heroes in Houston is an amazing festival, and we hope to get Evil Dead on the bill next year in 2025.
That'd be fantastic. And how would you compare to, let's say, the inner workings of a band like Evil Dead to a band like Agent Steel?
I think we're more laid back. Evil Dead's more laid back, meaning we don't take things so serious. Musically, we take things serious, but Agent Steel. I mean, let's face it, Skeptics Apocalypse and even the second record, Ensemble Force, even the stuff after John. I mean, they're all solid records. Um, it just it just felt to me it was just a lot of difficulties with the group. Musically, I love the band. I love speed metal. I love what Agent Steel's doing. I heard some of the new stuff they did, and I thought it was good. I think it's just a matter of getting along as a unit. It's very important. It's like sports. It's like a team effort.
Yeah.
You want to win a championship or you want to go on tour, you got to get along, and that's the most important thing, I think, besides the music.
In many ways, I felt that Evil Dead was kind of created as the answer to all of those, difficult times you face in other bands.
I agree with you 100%. Hey, man, when I started doing this, I my goal was to be in one band. Like I told you, I was influenced by Judas Priest. They didn't have a lot of lineup changes with Glenn and KK, and well, until recently. But I always wanted to be in one band. But sometimes life has something else for you, so you just got to go with the flow. We formed Evil Dead because we wanted to create something different, and we thought it was going to last a long time, but it didn't. But it's okay. I'm fine with that. We're here now. We have a new record coming out, and you just got to go with the flow sometimes.
True, true. And how do you look back on those early days of Evil Dead?
They were fun. I mean, like you mentioned, Milwaukee Metal Fest was awesome. Our recording our debut album at Music Grinder Studios was a very positive experience. Working with some really good engineers, and I mean that debut album to me is timeless. We did a lot of cool shows. We supported bands like Testament. Uh, yeah, it was good. It was good. I mean, even recently when we just toured Europe in 2023, Vakken was amazing. We had full stage show with fire and everything. That was pretty cool. And Brutal Assault in Czech Republic was awesome. Even the club shows are cool. It's great, man. I'm very fortunate and thankful to be able to go out and tour and play music. And very grateful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Juan, you yourself had been in the band since what, 1982? A lot of bands that kind of.
I started with Abattoir, Vicious Attack, the first album. I think yeah, about 82 is when I started, 81, 82, 83, somewhere in there. Screams from the Grave on Metal Massacre 4 with Abattoir. Then I left to do Agent Steel. We put out Skeptics Apocalypse in 85. I stuck around for a while. We did the Mad Locust EP and the Ensemble Force record, and then some stuff went down, and that's how Evil Dead got launched. Right around 86, I think it is when we started, and the demo came out in 87.
Yeah. What would you say kept you going throughout all these years?
My passion for music. I just, I love music. I'm inspired by, you know, great musicians like Michael Schenker and Uli Roth, even though I can't play like Uli, but he's an inspiration. Ace Frehley. I just love music, man. That's really what it is. I love thrash metal. Um, I like to create original music, and I like being in a band. I like touring. that's really just my passion and for music.
Well, there is something to it because all the guys you just mentioned, they have longevity in the scene.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that, but you're right. I mean, I just saw Uli and at Vakken, and he just did a local show here in Los Angeles, and I didn't attend the show, but I missed it. But yeah, man, there's a lot of great players, and it's fun, man. Music, it's a fun thing. It's important to be inspired and to look to do things you like to do.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for speaking to me, and good luck
Hey,
with.
thank you. Yeah, for sure, man. You have a great day. Thank you for the interest, and hopefully, you checked out the whole record, and I hope you dig it.
Definitely.